Hello everyone. Our guest of today's video is Alfred Berger. He's the general manager from Ronfit, Germany, and from Kolombovet. I am I will meet him for the first time. We are official partners from Romania of Ronfit, Germany. For the beginning, please make a short introduction.
Yeah, hello to everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation to our interview. Yeah, I have some experience since long time in Romania. It's around 12, 14 years ago. We have some round trips in Romania, make many speeches. So I know many Romanian pigeon fans here, and especially I know the enthusiasm they have to do pigeon sport and pigeon races. So I'm very happy to have the opportunity to be here to join you for this interview. Thank you very much.
Welcome. We have a couple of weeks before the crazy season will start again with our pigeons, and I would like you to give us some advices for all fanciers about how do we prepare our pigeons and to take them in a good shape for the season.
Yeah, much important will be that all the pigeons that your team is in a very good healthy condition. And for the healthiness, it is very important to have a good system, how to decrease infection pressure or how to control infection pressure, to control it on a low level. Yeah, without any infections, it will be difficult to raise a whole season. But to keep the infection pressure on a lower level, that is important. And it is very important to increase immunity so that the pigeons themselves can handle the situation and can become and perform a good condition, good performance, so that they can have good results at least. So if it is possible, the best case is to visit a vet or send droppings to a vet to check the droppings about endoparasites like coccidia, worms, etc. Also bacterial surgeries to see the basis, what is the situation in the loft. And if there are some infections, now you have enough time to make a treatment. If it is necessary, I would recommend to do it. If you have no infection, nothing is wrong, all pigeons looks good, feathers are very nice, the muscles are in good condition. So I think pigeon fanciers know how pigeon looks like when it is in a normal healthy situation, and droppings are not wet and so on, good formed, small white feathers you can see. So these are all signs who shows us that everything is okay. But it is an advantage if you have the opportunity to check it by a vet. And if you don't have the opportunity to visit a vet, maybe it is recommended, it is a better way or more safe way to make some treatments without a result from a vet. So, per example, against coccidiosis, against trichomonas, you could make a treatment as a prevention, because if you don't know if there is something wrong, then you can do it. On the other side, we have very good experience with supplements Avitres and another supplement called Usnegano. Avitres is a mixture of 5 different acids, organic acids, who brings the pH in the drinking water on a lower level, and that realize that the infections through the drinking water from pigeon to pigeon is stopped. And what we saw, if you use it daily, so really daily, every day in the week, and you can prepare your drinking water today and wait until the pigeons drink it, and if it's empty, then you can make it new. So you can let them stay 3-4 days without a problem, because the quality of the drinking water is still in the best quality, because infection have no chance to develop in this lower pH. And what we saw is also that inside the pigeons, if you have surgeries from the crop, you cannot find Trichomonas or also bacterial infections on the crop cells. You see much lower level. So that is a very good product for prevention, but you have to use it really a long time, not only 2-3 days per week. Then I would say don't use it. If you want to use it to have the best results with this product, then you have to use it 7 days in the week. And the Usnegano product is a product based on bark moss and oregano. And these are natural, let's say natural antibiotics who are able to decrease infections with coccidiosis. If you have illness, a really big illness, very high infection pressure of coccidiosis, then you have to use a medicine. But if you have a low level of coccidiosis in the droppings, so 1 or 2 crosses normally, then you can use Usnegano. And Usnegano is also very useful in the racing season, later in the season, because you have no negative side effects. And normally when you use medicine, you have to handle the side effects. And especially before the racing season, that is okay. But in the racing season, you have not the time to make a good treatment and then regeneration, recovery of the pigeon. So you have too many side effects. And that and because of this, strategy with natural products without side effects are very smart, very good idea for the racing season. So at least you have to be sure that your pigeons are in a very good, healthy condition.
So natural products, you can call them a tip. Besides studying our pigeon every day, and be sure they have a good condition.
Yeah.
In your experience, because you're also a fancier, pigeon fancier.
Yeah, of course.
You compete your pigeons, and you can say these are like tips for fanciers.
Yeah, in the last, I don't know exactly the acids to decrease the pH I use since 2001. So it's 20 years I have the experience. Every day, 365 days in the year, the avitress is in the drinking water from the breeding, from the stock birds. The racing season is a little bit different, but the stock bird or outside the racing season, every day I use the avitress. And since 2001, there was only 2 times that I have to make a treatment against Trichomonas in the stock birds, in the breeding loft, and because of an infection, and the infection was the reason for the infection was I get new pigeons, and the new pigeons, they have it. So I have few pigeons with a small amount of Trichomonas in the crop, and then I make a treatment because of this. But the rest of all these years without any treatment, and what I can tell you is that the immunity, you need a little bit infection pressure, that the immunity have to handle and work or fight against Trichomonas to have a basis immunity against such kind of infections. And when you use avitress, and sometimes you have infections, so the pigeons are able to decrease infection pressure by her own immunity together with the pH of the drinking water. And that makes the pigeon much more stronger than without this.
Yes, our special event, Ronfried Days, is coming soon, but also the competition, the season. Can you tell us how do you prepare? How you suggest us to prepare our pigeons before the race, and what do you do for weekly races and for longest races?
Yeah. Very important information, I think, or recommendation is all the products, all supplements, or also the feed, whatever you want to feed, the different kind of corns, like hennep seed or peeled sunflower to bring more energy or based on fatty acids in the nutrition, and and all the products, whatever you want to use in your system, and it makes no difference, yeah, is it from your Untitled or other brands, yeah, whatever you want to use in your system, you have to start 3, 4, 6 weeks before the season starts. So the pigeons must know the taste of the products so that they learn to accept it. Yeah, they have to know it, and sometimes the feed, or they eat it more or less. Yeah, when you use something over the feed, they have lesser appetite then. So that means they get too less quantity of feed, or they drink not enough. Yeah, so you have to teach them, to learn them that they know the taste of all the supplements which you use. But in the beginning, you maybe you use only low quantity, yeah, and and that is the reason that I start at least in March. So next month I start with all the supplements which I use in the racing season. So especially, let me say, when I start to release them to train around the loft, in the first week it is without pressure. Later I force them that they start to fly longer if they don't do it. Yeah, sometimes they do it by themselves very quick, that they start to train in the first week until 40-50 minutes. So some minutes you cannot see them, so they go far away, come back, go far away. So if this situation is happen, that it works very well, there is no, so I know everything is very good. Yeah, the situation is very good. And then I start especially with the feeding of the carnitine, our product CarniSpeed. So the daily feed of CarniSpeed makes that the pigeons start to train much more intensive. So, and the reason is that the carnitine inside the muscles, and you have to feed it every day also, minimum 5 days per week in the racing season, to increase the carnitine level in the muscle, inside the cells. And if you have a higher level in the muscle, it works like, yeah, how to say? So what we know from some scientific studies that the lactate in the muscles, you find much lower level. Yeah, we had some tests with blood, pigeons who stay, pigeons who fly. A control group without carnitine, another group with carnitine, and the group with carnitine, they have much lower level of lactate in the blood after competition.
Yeah,
and
muscle
or after
fever.
training around the loft, and that shows that the CarniSpeed, the carnitine, helps the metabolism to work more effective. Let's say work more effective, and that you can see, yeah, when you start to the supplement, to add it in the drinking water, you can see day per day that the pigeons start to train more intensive. And to prepare the pigeons before the racing season, we have a much interest that they train very well around the loft. And when they train very well around the loft, then you can start also to train them on the road. And in this moment, when they start to train more intensive, we use our protein, Key Plus Key protein 3000 is a powder based on different protein compounds, and it's some from animals, some from plant, and that makes that the muscle, that the building of the muscle in this training, in this period of the training, more intensive training, that makes that the muscles became more, a little bit bigger, a little bit, you build the muscle, let's say, and that you can support with the Key Plus Key protein. And and also what is very interesting supplement is our product called Hexavia, because many Belgian top fanciers, they use it in March normally, like a treatment, to 3-4 weeks every day, and that is the period when they start to train the pigeons more intensive. And the experience is with the use of the Hexavia that the blood circulation becomes better. It is helpful for the liver, and for the liquid of the blood. Yeah, it's more liquid then, and that makes also that the metabolism works much better, and
The circulation.
yeah, circulation of the
It's
blood
better.
is more easy, is better, and so all the metabolism is better. Yeah? It performs and
It
brings the
accelerates.
metabolism on a higher level.
Yes.
And yeah, and if you use it like a treatment, like a cure, 3 weeks later, you can stop and use it 2 days, 1 or 2 days per week, also while the racing season, to keep the pigeons on this higher level. So yeah, for fanciers who maybe have some problems with the respiratory system, you can use our product we called Avimicin Forte, I guess is the new name.
Yeah.
And it's also a natural product. And these are some, now I'm not good prepared, I have to say. I miss the right words for the ingredients. So
okay.
There are some aromatic oils, which the basis ingredients are frozen dried powders. So, and if the pigeons eat it, then you have a reaction. So the active oils will be built in the crop. Yeah, when the pigeon eats the feed prepared with the avimicin, then they drink, and then you have a reaction that these active ingredients will be built in the crop, and they go directly into the blood. So they don't reach the intestine flora. That is an advantage, because the intestine flora is not interrupted or not affected from these active oils from these plants. And horseradish, I think you know horseradish. One of the main ingredient. And horseradish, if we eat horseradish, it is very spicy, yeah? But the pigeon cannot smell this. And these oils go into the blood and circulate in the blood. And in the lung, we breathe it out. So these active oils goes from the blood into the lung. And then you have the antibiotic, antivirus, antifungal function of these ingredients in the lung. So from inside, the pigeons breathe it out, and then you have a very good treatment or cure and prevention of the respiratory system. That's very innovative product, because you have no side effects in the intestine flora, because it goes directly into the blood, and pigeons breathe it out. And then you have all the functions in the respiratory system, and that is very innovative. And another tip I can say is our product we called Roxitol. It's a small bottle, nose drops. Yeah. So before I release my old birds first time, 2-3 days before, I use these 1 drop per nose, and then they start to build slim, and so the pigeons try to get them out, and it's like when you are cold, get cold,
scratchy,
your nose is working. Yeah. Also needed for the orientation. Yeah, we have olfactoric orientation system at the pigeons, so they have different informations how to orientate, and the smell in the air. Yeah, it's also a system to orientate. So you need very good respiratory olfactory system, and for this is also important to clean it. Yeah, to have it. And that we do 4-5 times per season, especially for important races. Yeah.
You told us about supplements during the season, but how do you approach the subject of medicine during the season? How do you think they must be used properly?
The best season we can have is if we don't need to use medicine products. So, and that is the reason that in our system you can find a lot of natural products to decrease the infection pressure and increase the immunity. So that means we use our product Morgold. It's a slimy product, yes, which is very helpful for the intestine, for the detoxification of the intestine also. We prepare the feed with it. Then we give our product Enterobac. That is a probiotic product and that is the only probiotic which is known that it survives the stomach and survive stable and fertilizing, or it's living in the intestine, because in the stomach the nature have lower pH. So with the acid from the stomach, you destroy normally bacterials, and also the good bacterials cannot survive through the stomach. But these bacterials are in a stable form, so they are not active in the powder. They will be activated after they are eaten. And then you have these probiotics in the intestine, and that makes that bacterial infections in the intestine are very less. So maybe salmonella can be a problem, but these kind of probiotics are able to decrease and to work against the salmonella. And we also use the product Immune Booster, so Morgold, Enterobac, and Immune Booster, because Immune Booster is a little bit like an orchestra from different ingredients which work to increase immunity. So let's say, per example, beta-glucans. So we have 1,3 beta-glucans inside the Immune Booster, and beta-glucans are a key. So you switch on the immunity. You say, okay, where are the bacteria? So
you activate it.
Yeah, it's an activator. And in sometimes army have to be alarm. So if you have stress with the Ukraine, so your army will be in front of the border to see, okay, what's going on. So it's a little bit like this.
Yes, so it works like this.
So it's not the best picture maybe, but to understand, so it is to bring the immunity more, I miss the right word, more sensitive, more to check is there something. And because if you have an infection, it is needed that you react very quick. When the infection have time to develop, so that is, you became a bigger problem. It's more difficult to bring them on a lower level again. And if you react directly, the immunity is much more effective, at least.
So your philosophy is to keep the level very low for this disease.
Healthy, to be healthy, healthiness. The definition of healthiness is not that all the infections are not at present. The definition of healthiness is that you have the balance from the infection pressure and the immunity. If the infection pressure is high and immunity low, then you became a situation like this, and then you lose the performance, and you became symptoms. But if you have the level on the same level, you have no symptoms. You are healthy.
That is the natural way of pigeon to defend against disease infections.
The level of the infection pressure makes the disease, not the infection with 1, 2, or low level of bacterials makes a disease. So the level of the bacteria, the infection pressure, makes a disease.
Becomes dangerous.
If you bring it in a stable situation, or in a situation to decrease infection pressure,
the ideal
immunity, then you have not a problem when there are some salmonellas or other infections, because immunity is high, active on a high level. The basis infection pressure is low, and then you have not the problems with diseases, and that bring your pigeons in a much better condition and in a stable condition to bring the performance week per week on a higher level. That is the strategy. But if you became this strategy is very effective. We have many fanciers who it works very well. But sometimes but what is needed? You have to observe your pigeons very good. The best case is also every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe visit to a vet to check the pigeons, to know the situation. Not only by viewing how they train, how they look. So it is important to not lose the right moment to use the medicine, because if the infection pressure becomes higher level week per week, because the natural maybe not working good enough, that can be happen, then you have to use a treatment, but maybe then the treatment for 4 days or 5 days with some advices or some use some products who make that the side effects are not so heavy, like Rotosal. Yeah, if I use medicine, sometimes I use medicine also while the racing season. If it is needed, I would do it directly. But then I use it together with our product Betamin Forte with the amino acids for the liver, because if you make a treatment with the medicine, the liver is very stressed. So support the liver with the Betamin Forte and with the product Rotosal. Rotosal, very important product for the regeneration after the competition, first drinking water. And whenever you use a medicine, do it together with the Rotosal or Rotosal directly after the treatment. So that, and then if you then have maybe, or when you have a racing season and very good results, and maybe then you have 1 or 2 weeks not so good results, the best case is before you became more bad results, and then you can make a treatment maybe for 4 days, maybe respiratory system with an antibiotic. Yeah, at least it is the best to know what has happened. So if you can visit a vet, it is the best case. Without, maybe you make a blind treatment, but then not only 1 day, better 4 days with the support of the liver and the metabolism with Betamin Forte, Rotosal, and then you have the next 4 or 5 weeks. Normally, you should have no problem with diseases, and that is our recommendation. The best case is you don't need a medicine product while the racing season. And one very, very important reason is if you have an infection and you must make a treatment, the treatment have to be 5 days, 10 days, normally. If you have an infection, normally you need a long treatment. And in the racing season, when you have every week a race, you have not the time for a correct treatment. So that is the reason that we need other solutions to, and the solution is do it with natural product. The solution is keeps the infection pressure on a balance with the immunity, or bring it the infection pressure on a lower level, immunity on a higher level, and then pitches are very strong while the racing season. That is the strategy.
Thank you, Alfred, for sharing this information. These are very valuable, and also for your experience as a fencer of 20 years, you said. Let's hope soon you can come and visit us to have some seminaries, and why not having the party after that with no problems.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know that you are able to celebrate very nice parties. Yeah. I was lucky to join to some parties in the past, so I hope we can join each other and have some nice hours together.
Let's hope for freedom soon. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.